One of Bitcoin's original goals as a decentralized currency was that it obviated the need for central banking. And one of its achievements is that it has obviated the need for roller coasters as well. What a ride. So let's start with a price update, and then we can see if we can work out where we are in the grand scheme of things. As I write, we are at $40,000. Bitcoin began the year at $29,000. So 5 months into 2021, we are looking at gains of around 40%. So far, so good. What that story doesn't tell you, of course, is that we also went as high as $64,000 and then in the space of barely a month crashed by over 50%. The world's most celebrated and attention-seeking billionaire, Elon Musk, meanwhile, has embraced Bitcoin, then spurned Bitcoin, and now he seems intent on controlling Bitcoin, according to the parameters of his own moral compass, which happens to stray rather far from the moral compass of many of those involved in the project, in that it is supposed to be open source and leaderless. Veteran Bitcoiners are crying, whoa, wait a minute, while in front of their noses all of a sudden there is a Bitcoin mining council to standardize energy reporting, pursue industry ESG goals, and then educate and grow the marketplace in the words of leading Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor. Now, the last time key stakeholders got together and then attempted to speak on behalf of the industry was 2017, and the result was an almighty civil war, new forked versions of Bitcoin, the creation of Bitcoin Cash, then Bitcoin SV, the excommunication of previous Bitcoin cheerleaders, and a divide that made Brexit look harmonious. Then, another billionaire, Peter Thiel, chipped in, this is in this week's argument, to say that nobody's trying to centralise or control anything. It's really about sharing best practices. This is why I like charts. They strip out the noise. Now, civil war or not, the price is rebounding, bringing some relief to those eyes which until a few days ago were bleeding. And the question we all want to know the answer to is this: is this a bounce of the dead cat variety, or do we go higher? And I'll come to that in a moment. But first, I just want to address the environmental argument. This anti-fossil fuel narrative is extremely powerful. Never mind the extraordinary improvements fossil fuels have brought to living standards, and the fact that Bitcoin may be accelerating the adoption of renewable alternatives in a quite natural market-driven way. The overriding narrative, especially from sources such as the Financial Times, the BBC and The Economist, who also told you not to buy Bitcoin and that it's useless and would never catch on, the overriding narrative is that Bitcoin is bad for the environment and must be banned. Why does nobody tot up all the energy used to do Google searches worldwide and then try and have Google searches banned because they consume too much energy? Nevertheless, for me, the biggest threat to Bitcoin at present is this environmental lobby. I think Bitcoin will survive it in the long term. Truth usually wins in the end. But you just need to see what one tweet from Musk airing concerns about Bitcoin's fossil fuel consumption did to the price to know that this narrative is a problem for Bitcoin in terms of short and intermediate term price action. And so, while I fully support the ethos of Bitcoin's decentralization, and I subscribe to Adam Smith's view that people of the same trade seldom meet together, even for merriment and diversion, but the conversation ends in a conspiracy against the public or in some contrivance to raise prices, I also recognise the importance of Bitcoin of making and winning this environmental argument now. The public and the authorities must be persuaded that Bitcoin is accelerating renewable energy adoption, which it is. 75% of Bitcoin mining comes from renewables, and is thus net positive for the evolution of man's energy consumption. To this extent, getting Musk on board is important. Bitcoin is bigger than Musk, though he may not think so, but it is better off not having him as an enemy. So maybe, at least in the short term, this council may have a role to play, though I say that with a certain amount of trepidation. So, back to the thing we really care about most, the price. What is it going to do next? There's support at 30,000. That figure of 30,000 or just below was support in January, and it's support now. It's held twice over the past weeks, which is good. We don't want to see it tested too many times, as the more times the level is tested, the less likely it is to hold. If we stay above 30,000, that is good, very good. It means we have an almighty W in place, a double bottom from which the price can launch much higher. And I'm talking over $100,000 higher. So that's what I'm hoping for. In the short term, I see resistance in the 42,000 area. That was the high in January. It was also the February low, and it's a TA 101 support resistance point. Above 42,000 is good. If 30,000 doesn't hold, then I'm afraid we go back to 20,000. That's another pivotal price point, the December high, but also once the all-time high from back in 2016, 2017. And I have to say, I really wouldn't be surprised to see it go back there. I hope it doesn't, but it's a bit of a magnet. If it does go back there, then 12,000 comes into play, and let's hope that's a conversation we never have to have. For now, it's a battle of narratives. Bitcoin has been brilliant at telling its story. Price has confirmed the narrative. The battleground of the next 6 months will be to make the environmental argument and win it. And Sailors' Council has a role to play in that. Purists will say Bitcoin doesn't want this council, and they may be right. Nevertheless, it is an important argument to win. Bitcoin probably doesn't need this council to win the argument, but it must still win the argument. Otherwise, it will be staring down the barrel of $12,000. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be back with another one very soon. Until then, cheerio. Oh, and please subscribe to my channel.